Don't worry, though, we're here to help with another holiday chat. Our Erin Murray talks to a relationship expert for advice on finding and maintaining love.
It's that time of year. The holidays are upon us. And to help you prepare, we're having another holiday chat. This time we're having a chat about LOVE. Yes, love. Now joining us to lead today's discussion is relationship expert and coach Karen Card. Karen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, love is always a hot topic and a tricky one sometimes. So first up, let's talk about those that are married. This year has been a tough one because of the pandemic. In fact, since March, we've seen divorce rates on the rise, with couples spending endless time together. What's your advice to those couples experiencing that fatigue?
Boy, it is hard when we are locked in our houses all day, every day. When both partners are working from home, it can get a little overwhelming. What we need to do is we need to ask our partner for personal time. And you may have to book it into your schedule, but at least 1 hour a day, you need to be by yourself, whether that's going into another room, closing the door, putting on your favorite music, doing your hobby, something like that. If you can't find that time in your house, get in your car and go for a drive. It's COVID safe, and we have beautiful beaches around here. Just take a drive, be by yourself for at least an hour. Then when you get back home with your partner, things will go much better.
Space is always definitely necessary. It's almost like when you're like a kid too, when you were hanging out with your best friend too much, you get tired of them, and your husband or wife is your best friend, so a little space from them is good too. I like that. And another question when it comes to married couples, if you find yourself just not feeling happy, I've been told it's not your partner's responsibility to make you happy. You have to find ways to, find some happiness. Is that true?
Absolutely. You have to understand what your own needs are. And seeing a relationship coach may help that. But finding out what needs you have and how you can get them met, they cannot be ever fully met by a partner. So you may need to turn to your friends. You may need to turn to your family. You may need to look inside. There's all different ways to get your needs met. Relying solely on your partner is a bad choice.
Right. Well, let's switch gears a little bit here, and let's talk about being single in a pandemic, because if loneliness was an issue before, it's even more of a concern we know right now. And finding love in a pandemic, I've heard people say, do I just give up this year? How is it possible? So what advice do you have for those that are single right now?
Well, believe it or not, now is an excellent time to be single and start dating. I know, sounds crazy. But here's the thing. If you meet someone online, which is the best, safest way to do it right now, since you're not going out to bars or clubs, meet someone online, you're actually forced to get to know them through first telephone calls, the old-fashioned way of talking on the phone, and then through video calls. And it's a great way to really get to know somebody as you spend more time talking away from each other. Then when you set up your first date at an outdoor cafe or on the beach, you're already well versed in what you like and don't like about that person and how you can get along. So it really does set people up for a great long-term healthy relationship.
That makes sense to me, because I think at first, it can be so easy when you see somebody you're attracted to want to almost jump into the intimacy. This pandemic almost is forcing us to, it sounds like, set that foundation when it comes to just communicating and understanding who that person is and who we are, right?
Absolutely. We take away the physical attraction piece of it, the chemistry that is uncontrollable at times. By getting to know them over video calls, you're going to slow that process down, which always makes for a better chance at a long-term healthy relationship.
And finally, what do you say? Oh, sorry, and I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to ask you this, but before we end here, what do you say to people that just say, you know what, I just give up, love is just not for me?
If the way that you're going about it isn't working, you have to change the way you're going about it. That's all there is to it. If you've been doing online dating on a certain website, try a different website. If you've been just asking friends to set you up on blind dates and that's not working, then go ahead and do online dating. There's also matchmaking services out there, working with a coach. There's a lot of different ways to meet people. But if what you're doing isn't working, it's probably not you. It's probably the mode that you're using to meet people.
Absolutely. Change it up 2021. I love that. Well, Karen, thank you so much for chatting with us, and we hope you have a very happy holiday.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Happy holidays.